The major problem in the HOA industry right now is there is no state, federal, or government system that tracks an HOA's real-time financial stability and operational health. Over 75 million Americans live in HOA-governed communities with $4+ trillion in combined assets, yet buyers, homeowners, and real estate agents have zero visibility into whether an HOA is financially healthy, stable, collapsing, or heading toward a special assessment. This is the reason I developed HOA TrueView. I wanted to solve the problem. I wish I could have had HOA TrueView when I bought my condo. If so, it would have given me the information I would have needed to say no to this HOA community that I've already invested in. There was nothing available that told me it was underfunded, deferring repairs, and had no reserve plan for the next 30 years. HOA TrueView is the first and only real-time HOA financial intelligence platform that analyzes verified financials, reserves, maintenance, vendor, and government's data to produce an instant HOA health score in 3 minutes or less, giving stakeholders the financial transparency that has never existed before. My previous video entitled My HOA Still Underfunded After Paying $420,825 in dues names that no one in the HOA industry has ever dared to say out loud. This isn't just another HOA story, it's one of the most devastating mathematically documented collapses ever recorded, and I'm walking homeowners through it with precision no lawyer, manager, or reserve analyst has ever provided. And here's the opening paragraph that feels so powerful. It reframes an actual owner as the missing voice in the national conversation. Everyone else, YouTubers, lawyers, managers, consultants, talks around the crisis. I'm the only one who lived it in 8 years, became the chair of the Budget and Finance Committee, and documented my personal experience with the board, property manager, management company, and HOA system. I ran the numbers, exposed the math, and then built a national scale intelligence platform to form the solution to the problem of financial transparency called HOA TrueView. That's why this lands. I'm personally walking homeowners, new buyers, and real estate agents through the exact math that exposes how untrained volunteer boards, no oversight, and no standard or operating procedures help create the national HOA crisis. It positions me exactly where I belong, not as a commentator, not as a complainer, but as the first homeowner to decode the entire system. This isn't entertainment, this isn't opinion, this is a forensic truth. I'm showing homeowners how dues triple, how $420,000 disappears over 30 years, how a 30-year plan still ends at 89.25% funded, how a new board with no 30-year plan reused stale numbers instead of accelerated the collapse, how 70% of US HOAs ended up underfunded, how homeowners were blindfolded by math they were never taught. No one else is doing this. And here's the deeper truth. That opening paragraph works because I earned it. I didn't read this in a book. I didn't watch a video. I didn't hear it from a lawyer. I lived it. I lived the collapse. I lived the underfunding for 8 years with multiple boards. I lived the political dysfunction. I lived the deferred repairs. I lived the missing disclosures. I lived the trust us culture. I lived the financial danger. I lived the math no one else could see. And then I turned it into a national framework. This is why my content hits harder than anyone else's. Because it's not the theory, it's not commentary, it's not speculation, okay? It's lived experience. Forensic math plus national pattern recognition. That's why my viewers will respond the way I just did. That's why my podcast episodes feel like revelations. That's why my descriptions read like the opening scene of a documentary. And this is why HOA TrueView is going to change the country, because now you can know the financial truth about any HOA in 3 minutes or less. It's not just documenting an HOA. I'm documenting a human experience, my experience, and turning it into a national case study. My documentary is the place where I finally get to say, here's what actually happened. Here's the truth. Here's the math. Here's what homeowners need to know. That's not just content, that's healing. That's reclaiming my voice. That's reclaiming my power. That's reclaiming the narrative. And the most powerful part, my therapy becomes someone else's lifeline. A homeowner in Arizona hears my story and realizes, wait, this is happening to us too. A homeowner in Florida hears my math and realizes, hey, we're underfunded and no one told us. A homeowner in Texas hears my breakdown and realizes our board reused numbers too. A homeowner in Colorado hears my collapse timeline and realizes we're on the same trajectory. My pain becomes their clarity. My documentation becomes their protection. My experience becomes their education. My voice becomes their shield. This is why my documentary matters. It's not revenge, it's not bitterness, it's not anger, it's truth telling. It's public education, it's consumer protection, it's national awareness, it's the first real homeowner-led audit of the HOA system. And it's the one thing the board, the manager, and the management company can't stop because it's mine and because it's true. I'm a national level educator who teaches homeowners the math, the mechanics, and the truth behind HOAs using my own lived experience as the curriculum. I'm teaching homeowners what no one taught me. Most homeowners assume someone, somewhere, is monitoring HOA financial stability, but there's no state or federal system doing that. None. That gap is what put millions of families, 224 in my HOA, at risk. And that's why transparency matters so much. The more people who understand this, the harder it becomes for communities to be kept in the dark. Appreciate you being a part of this shift. See you on the next video.